The beginning of Sexy Beast sees Gal, Dee Dee, H and Jackie living out their retirement in sunny Spain, having left behind their criminal lives back in England. Their peace is about to be shattered, however, by the arrival of the volatile sociopath Don Logan, an old criminal associate who is part of a team preparing for a heist, and is intent on recruiting the reluctant Gal. They wait for the inevitable arrival of a man no one wants to have around them. In a classic case of art imitating life, Ray Winstone & Co. actually had to wait for Ben Kingsley to turn up to set, as a movie he was working on ran over schedule and the actor arrived late. Winston was apprehensive at Kingsley's casting as the terrifying role of Logan, and he mentioned in interviews thinking that Gandhi's going to turn up. When Kingsley did arrive, however, he did so in character and genuinely terrified his castmates. The Oscar-nominated performance of Kingsley needs no additional praise, as many consider it to be his finest performance. The entire film relies on him delivering a knockout, and critics called him riveting, brilliant, astonishing, exceptional, a tour de force, and show-stopping. After watching the movie for the first time, it takes a great deal of effort after being blown away by his performance to remember that Sexy Beast is an all-round great film, with a fantastic script and exceptional acting from the entire cast. It's not just that Kingsley formed such an unhinged and frightening character, but he added layers to Don Logan that are apparent without the need for exposition or even any dialogue whatsoever. Even before he arrives, the apprehensiveness of the characters is telling. Right off the bat, seeing him walk down the airport with that shiny bald head, you know this guy is going to make a difference to the film one way or another. Immediately upon getting out of the car, he is as forward and offensive in conversation as he is in life. With a lot of these kind of people, their rude behavior is nothing more than a showcase that they are quite simply sociopaths. They have no shame, no guilt, and see no faults in their actions. Don does many ill-mannered things for no reason, like pissing on the floor. But also, if anything, Don's violent personality, his invasive attitude towards others is a coating, a masking of his inner insecurities. His temperament and ferociousness is how he gets what he wants. He uses this to get Gal to join the heist, but funnily enough, he fails. Don examines Gal's lifestyle and he's disgusted, sees it as a betrayal of whatever misguided sense of honor he follows. He can't even look when seeing that Gal has a Spanish boy help him with chores around the house. Nevertheless, he continues, but Gal stands his ground throughout the film. Despite being almost driven to tears, Gal technically has the upper hand as long as he does not give Logan what he wants, or at least he does until Don actually does lose the plot. Don attempts to intimidate Gal from the off, but after he is met with refusal, he has no plan B. There is no follow-up. He doesn't know any other way, no other method of persuasion. So what he does is all he can do, up the tempo, be even more intimidating. And with Gal refusing every time the question comes up, all Don can do, like a child, is shout even louder. Don seems the juvenile type that seems to fancy himself as some kind of military captain. Certain expressions he comes out with and the humorous way he punches Gal in mid-conversation and then stands back calmly, hands behind his back, standing straight and firm like an officer, as if nothing out of the ordinary had happened. You get a lot of these people hanging around the pubs of the UK who feed their own idealistic images of themselves in their heads with actions which are, to everyone else around them, reprehensible and immature. They are the heroes in their story and everyone else is a villain. He's unable to even perform introspection without resorting to violence and a tirade of profanity. He talks to himself in the mirror like an old uncle, giving the worst possible advice and feeding the already manifesting problematic thoughts Don is having. The kind of uncle that's done the rounds in prison and never amounted to anything, one that your parents have always told you to stay away from. He claims that the characters are all taking the piss out of him, when only seconds before he sees they are all sleeping blissfully. Don's rage, driven by his insecurities, are most likely amplified by the fact that he himself exposed them in the first place. In a rare moment of sincerity, Don tells Gal he has feelings for Jackie, who's now with H. He also lets slip some intimate information about their private bedroom life, information that suggests Don could or could not enjoy having his behind stimulated. Naturally, this infuriates him even further. These slips become more apparent as the film progresses. When Don unleashes yet another tirade, this time in the kitchen against Gal, Gal says he's had enough with the old life, that he's happy here. Don screams, almost in tears himself by the looks of it, "I won't let you be happy, why should I?" After this brief unmasking, he immediately diverts attention back to the heist, delivering arguably his loudest rant of the film. The line, "I won't let you be happy, why should I?" is one I always felt Don wasn't supposed to say to Gal. He had no intention of letting Gal know that one of the reasons for coming to Spain was so that he could see Jackie again. Don can see that the four friends are happy, that they are set, and he knows he can't have that he's missed his train, he's missed Jackie. He sees Gal's happy and he resents him for it. And when Gal exposes Don mere minutes later, saying this is not all about the job but also Jackie, Don is so distraught by this exposure he literally books a taxi and leaves the country. Or at least tries to. Another slip is during his final rage. Here he's really losing it, like a right Mr. Confused, if you will. Having been unable to convince Gal, and just being an all-round embarrassed that he's failed to achieve any of his goals, including those regarding Jackie, and in his mind the four must be laughing at him while he took off back for England. He aims shots at everyone, including and especially Jackie, who he must have acknowledged by now is completely beyond his grasp. And when H asks whether there was something wrong with the plane, Don lays it all bare. Since H is now with Jackie, as Don puts it, "You're the problem. You're the fucking problem." The plane scene was quite interesting because it shows what Don is like away from the characters he is used to. It's all good and all being a despicable creature in and amongst your social associates, but in public, Don makes no effort to adjust himself here, threatening passengers and being offensive to the staff. I wonder if this is Don in his normal state, or whether he was still furious over the events at Gal's house and wasn't thinking straight, whether he's anticipating the embarrassment of returning to Teddy without Gal, or whether he never even intended to leave Spain. I don't think Don is the type to make a plan to leave and then return as some kind of surprise revenge plot. He just really had nowhere else to go after being kicked off the flight, and now could direct all his hate and rage to the people who he was choosing to blame for all his problems. As the movie shows us though, in the grand scheme of things, Don is nothing. When we are introduced to Ian McShane's Teddy, whose calm, delicate persona is akin to a horror movie villain, the devil himself, Don Logan seems like nothing more than what he actually is, or is considered by those around him. A mad dog, one who was let off his leash in Spain and never came back, and no one misses him. I remember seeing an interview with Ben Kingsley where he says Logan was abused as a child, and the line, "I won't let you be happy, why should I?" is a reflection of him being abused as a child, having never been healed and now going on to abuse others. Whether you accept that stance or not is up to you, but either way, there's clearly more to Don than meets the shiny, bold head. Thanks for watching.